Help Action Needed, a D&D podcast.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Help Action Needed, a D&D podcast. My name is Sean Hardy, and I will be the GM of this story. Joined me, as always, as our wonderful cast. Wonderful cast, who you be?
Hi, I'm Kate Pizarchik-Johnson, and I play Nori.
I'm Dan Johnson, and I play Kaz.
I'm Julie Perez, and I play Frog.
Wonderful. And last we left all of you, you came back from the Twilight Temple. Some of you with far greater skill than you had prior. Some of you with just fear in your hearts. And you found Archemedies, who had somehow convinced the world that he actually ran a nation of frogs, and was not just a self-inflated egomaniac, who convinced a bunch of people to give him a bunch of money to save the frog wars from the Shadowcats. And then he revealed to you all that his plan was to take over Alara for being mean to Frog, and Nori, but mostly Frog, in a strange bout of war that Archemedies there. When you all asked Archemedies why, he said, well, everything I learned about interacting with people has come from you all, in a moment of self-actualization and realization. But then he told you that he has to go to a very important meeting of the nobles of the world, and that he was going to head there. Frog volunteered to be a guide and a human contact. Everyone could go, however. So we would pick up as you all are leaving the hotel for your little errands. Nori and Cass, if you wanted to change your mind, they haven't gone very far yet, but if you also still wanted to go to the market, you are welcome to do so.
Alright. So, as we're walking, just sort of making our way out of the inn we're sort of at the moment, I'm just gonna look to Nori and be like, so, are we sure we should be doing this exact thing? Not saying we're wrong, and I'm not saying that Frog isn't a very strong-willed, capable adult, but I also just learned that, I haven't known about half the stuff she's been doing for the past, week, 2 weeks, and stuff been going on. Should we maybe just go with them?
See, probably, and maybe we can hit up the shops on our way back.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best course of action. And with that, at mid-stride, I'll just sort of, do a 180 and just start walking back. Knowing full well that we won't have to travel very fast to catch up to them, but still gonna try to hurry up. And I'll just pretty much, knowing Nori's just gonna be distracted and wanting to sort of be entertained by all of the different stuff going on, just sort of keep her on track to find out wherever Frog and Archemedies are heading.
Yeah. And so Frog, as you and Archemedies lead the way, he would be directing you towards, it's not a nice, as in clearly high up, clearly the best in the world house, but it is pretty nice because everything in Petronell is pretty nice. It's a, manor home carved into the side of one of the hills that has a garden out front, which not a lot of the things in the middle of the city have gardens because it's not a lot of room for it. So you can tell whoever owns this place is high enough in the nobility or social structure, or they are a market, a merchant that has a lot of money. But you can see that Archimedes seems to be thinking the invite leads to this place. Are you currently Frog, or are you someone else?
Currently Frog. I mean, the only way that I don't think I have disguise self. I have invisibility, but that doesn't seem to be a good idea right now. So, yeah, I'm just Frog.
Well, war flashbacks to the last time Frog used invisibility for anything.
Yeah, it was a bad time.
Then yeah, Cass and Nori, you would come up on Frog and Archimedes standing outside of this house as Frog kind of ponders if it's the right spot and what she should do. But Archimedes does seem confident it's the right spot, and he does not see you two approaching because he's too fixated on how to get through the gate.
Solid! Okay, I don't think that they're gonna want to know, or I want them to know who I am. So I'm just gonna slap the bracers on and, try and give the image of someone I saw walking the opposite direction, but we saw on our way here. and say, I'm just gonna do this, and then just like hang out and wait for maybe Frog or Archimedes to go in first.
I would push for Archimedes to start moving because I do not want to be the first one in. So, Archimedes, you want to lead the way in?
Oh, yes. As soon as you open the gate for me, I will go inside and take my rightful place amongst the leaders of this country.
Upon hearing that, she's just like disappointed in his rightful leadership because how did we get here? But she'll open the gate and let him through.
And sort of as I get to the gate, I'll follow Nori's lead, sort of seeing that she's changing appearance, and I'll just cast Disguise Self on myself as well. Stay the same height, but just dark black hair, shorter, just trying to blend in more without being obviously a carbon copy of Cass type situation. And we'll make my way in behind her, letting Nori lead specifically.
Okay, well, question then. If you two are disguised, but I am not, I feel like that's just like, oh, there's 3 people with this frog, and one of them is Frog with this frog. I bet I know who the other 2 people are. Should I... Cass, would you disguise me? Well, no, can you disguise me?
Yeah.
I cannot disguise. I can't disguise her. Go ahead.
If any of you have a disguise kit, you can always try and make a check with a disguise kit to cover someone up.
I know I don't have one.
Give me a second.
I guess I could invisibility myself, but
Okay.
then I can't do anything. But I guess
No, you know what? You know what? I've sort of seen this. I'll just undo. Sort of see Frog look at me questioningly after I disguise myself. I'll just undo Disguise Self. We'll let Nori sort of slide under the radar and just sort of be with us in general. But I'll undo mine just because I agree it's going to be sort of weird. And I don't want Frog being the only one taking heat in that situation.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, Frog, do you open the gate for Archimedes?
Yes.
Okay. You see him hop in, and instead of going to the front door, he turns to the side and goes to, like, a back rose garden, and then into, like, a secret hatch below. It seems like these people told him explicit directions, and only were able to keep him on task by reminding him he's an important noble who is important and good. Because you all have known Archimedes, there's no way he remembers these directions without some sort of incentive. But yeah, he seems to remember how to get there. And as you go, he just knocks on it by kind of plopping himself down, as he does not have the hand strength to actually knock or signal. And it takes a couple plops of him. And then he looks back up to you, Frog, and goes, Miss Frog, do you think you should try knocking, or do you think that they will know I am here and come for me when it is the correct time?
Frog will knock.
Okay, but remember, you have to knock correctly.
How do I have to knock correctly?
I don't know, I don't have hands. They just said make sure that we know it's you. And so knock how I would knock if I had hands.
Frog will pick up Archimedes and drop him onto the door.
This is not what I meant. Oh yeah, but then there's sound inside, and people seem to be coming. The door is answered by a confused-looking human in nice clothes, until he looks down and sees Archimedes just kind of splatted on the thing, slowly regaining form and consciousness, and looks down to him and be like, "Oh, Archimedes, I see you have come to represent the Frog Kingdom. Very good. Who are these people you've brought with you?" He's like, these are my human servants. They allow me to travel the world, spreading the news of the Frog Shadowcat Wars. They are quite important to my needs for domination.
Domination?
Well, we need to dominate the Shadowcats, so we can be a safe frog people. She is also a frog, but she's a pretend frog.
Yes, sire.
And the guy is just like, okay, well, whatever. Come on in. We are going to get the meeting started soon. And you all are led into a, like, underground cellar-looking place, but it's clearly decked out. Like, it is the spot these people seem to regularly meet. It does not feel damp. It does not feel cold, despite being carved, again, into, like, the mountainside, the sheer cliff face. It's a very, like, warm and inviting space with rugs, some candles, some like lantern oils, and then a large table in the middle. It's like a long rectangular stretching table with a bunch of chairs around it. You can see various people from around all of the country sitting around there, some of whom you would recognize from the engagement party. Some of them look random. Some of them look like they're maybe more like subservient, like you all, to Archimedes. They are like the seconds or thirds into commands to the people sitting actually at the table. But no one you would immediately recognize is currently in the room. What would you all like to do?
Having looked at everyone, can we tell if there's anyone who looks like they wield magic more readily, or like who's more adept in casting spells and whatnot?
Yeah, it seemed like there are definitely people in here that have that wizardly annoying air about them of I don't need to do a single thing because my magic will carry it for me. Like people who are not in like full armor, people that are not sitting around like with any visible like weaponry on them. Not that anyone here is intending to fight. It's just like a known thing for the higher ups of the country to like carry weapons on them. You've seen Deanna and Julia doing it all the time, just in case anyone does attack, and also mostly for ceremonial show. So you see a couple people sitting around with the air of, oh, I've got myself protected even if I have nothing, and you would imagine that they can do magic in some capacity. To get like any specific things, you would need to do a detect magic.
My thought precisely. How large is the space itself?
It's like a 60-foot space total, like 20 feet long, 30 feet in, square foot stuff.
For casting detect magic, it does not matter if I cast it at a higher spell slot, it won't increase the range. Okay, then I will detect magic to see what is in the room.
Okay. You would see a lot of like the oil lanterns themselves seem to be giving off a glow of magic. They seem to be enchanted that they never run out of oil, like that they're ever burn lanterns in a way. You'd also see that the doorway seems to be protected, that anyone that tries to sneak in can't. Like, it's very much like you have to be invited in. And then, as well, a lot of the people in the room are holding very clearly, like, magical weapons, or, like, their armor has something, like, gleaming off of it. Or not armor, like, their everyday clothing, as it might be like Julian's and Dion's, where it can switch between regular armor and regular clothing back and forth. Or it might just be, like, that it has reflection stuff on it, so if you try to cast a spell on them, it would be bounced back towards you. They all seem to, again, be using it for safety, not for combat or fighting or aggression. It just is like what they're wearing to keep themselves safe if a random bandit did choose to attack them. But they all look like they know what they're doing, and so it's like if a fight did break out, you'd imagine they can stand their own, but they don't look like they're ready to just like lure you in here and stab you.
And with detect magic, it also would be able to pick up on if someone was invisible, or like the aura of their invisibility.
Yep. No one in here.
Nothing? Alright.
Mm-hmm. Everyone seems to be like present as they should be.
I will tap both Cass and Frog and kind of relay that information, trying to communicate quietly that we seem to be relatively safe for whatever that means to us.
We walk in. I'm assuming we're seeing like all these people gathering. Is there anyone who seems to be like the in charge person?
There's somebody who seems to be being greeted in the back of the room. Kind of like this is probably their house sort of thing, but nobody's clearly leading the meeting currently.
Okay, can we tell whose house it is? Do we know this person, or is it just like...
Make a history check at disadvantage, because you wouldn't know them, but you maybe like have heard of them on the street or seen them in the inn or something.
Okay, disadvantage. Okay. 14.
Nah.
Okay.
You don't really know. Yeah. They look like every other Patronellian. There's nothing really like stand out about them. So you also haven't spent that much time in town. You kind of got in and left. So
Right. Is Archimedes socializing already, or is he...
he will be. This is kind of like the as you all enter immediate scan.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be
Is it-
following Archimedes, just have my quarterstaff out, more using it as a walking stick, but just like have it in front of me at all times. And after Nori gives us the general update, I'll crouch down, looking like I'm trying to be closer to Archimedes, which sort of, yes, but also I'll just whisper back to Nori, best behavior, don't cause a scene. Like, this is not a place to be making an issue.
And I will look up at him because he's so much taller than I am. Put my hand
I'm
to my...
crouching down.
Oh, right. I will look at you, just kidding, not looking up at you, and I'll give my hand signal from my forehead and say, aye aye, Captain.
And I'll just look, knowing that I don't need to say anything, I'll look at Frog and just give her the nod, knowing that let's not do anything stupid.
Yep.
And then I'll stand back up, just sort of looking down at Archimedes, following wherever he is leading us at this point.
As he goes, he walks over to a female noble named June, who none of you would recognize. She doesn't seem like she's high ranking, but she seems like she's more like a public relations type person. She doesn't seem to have like gotten here. Like, she's very clearly old money. Like, she does not have a job. She does not have something she needs to do. So she just goes around the town learning about people, essentially, is her job. And she sees you all walking in and is like, "Oh, Frog King, we're so glad that you can make it. We're about to start. Have you met everyone here?" And he's like, "No, I have not met every other person. I have met you. And these are my entourage of friends and protectors, and they are that I know them, and that is who I know in this room currently." And then June will be like, "Oh, then allow me to point out who everyone is." And she points to the corner of like the guy that's being talked to. She's like, "That over there is Barto. He owns the house. We're waiting on a couple more, but he will give a formal welcome once it's here. The person you met at the door was Clarence. He also exists. The person over there talking to Kara. Have you met Kara? No, you have not. Okay. Kara is the one that does all of the organizing, and Cam is the one that does all the funding. So he's got all the money. And then I'm June, and over there is my sister Marie. And you see the one that looks pretty much the same as June, standing over by Barto, and like the people standing there talking with them.
Say, can you repeat the one after Clarence?
Would be Cam and Kara.
Yes.
Kara does organizing, Cam does funding.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Woohoo! Good notes.
And friends, who are you?
Hello?
We are...
Oh, sorry, go ahead. And I'll just put my head down.
Frog takes a moment to decide if she wants to give in to this "We Are Frog King's Servants" theme, but she's gonna just go with it, and she was like, "We serve the Frog King and help him with anything that we need. I am Fragenna, this is Cass, and this is Nori."
Well, it's wonderful that you all are here. has Archemedies told you much about the proposed plan? None of you were in the market the past week with him, so I imagine you all were shipped in from the Frog Nation to help.
Yes, we have not been fully briefed yet.
Oh, okay. Well, once the meeting gets started, you'll know all the info, but, it is kind of just, you know how a couple years ago everyone had their own place, and those of us who were more in charge were more in charge. We're just gonna try and restore that a bit. And Archimedes wants to reclaim the land that has been stolen from him, so we're just a group of like-minded people who plan to, right things a bit.
Frog will nod and not say a single word.
Okay.
I'll nod as well, just maintaining minimal eye contact while trying to just remain by Archimedes.
Then after, like a couple more moments, everyone's, like, seated, everyone moves around, you see two familiar figures come down through... Actually, they don't come in through the door, they just, like, magically appear in the room. And you would see someone who you all are intimately familiar with. You would see Cassiopeia appearing, seeming to have opened a portal, walking in with someone that, at this point, I'm going to make you all roll a history check to see if you recognize his face.
22.
Okay.
Nat 20 for Nat 20.
Okay. And Cass, what was yours?
4.
Yep, that tracks so hard. Frog and Nori, you look up, and despite not spending a lot of time in the same room as this man, you immediately recognize the current High Cleric, James Whitmore, being teleported in alongside Cassiopeia. And as they both enter, there seems to be an air of, like, not caution over the room, and not reverence either, because to most of these people, he's just a co-worker, but, like, an air of respect of, like, okay, like, the person that's talking is here now, and we need to, like... The meeting has started, versus the meeting is pre-starting. Anything you all do or say to each other?
Yeah. As soon as that portal opens and I recognize Cassiopeia, I don't really give a shit about James Whitmore because I don't recognize him. But I'm going to just maintain distance to Archimedes, but I will slide in front of Frog slightly, just like looking back at her, just trying to not like completely obscure view, but just keep her out of line of sight to a certain extent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, how...
Mm-hmm.
I also have one other question, too. How much...
Yeah.
Is anyone, like, specifically eyeing us, or can I up mage armor at this point? Discreetly.
You don't... Yeah, you don't feel like anyone is specifically looking out for anything.
I'll just prepare it. Like, if
Okay.
pretty much anything hostile starts happening, I'll just have it prepared to up at that point.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. Okay. Cool. And Frog, can I get you to make a stealth check at advantage from Cass helping you?
Okay. Oh. I feel like I'm pretty stealthy. Let's see.
Let's see.
19. Wait, no.
Okay.
I rolled a 19. 19 plus 2, 21.
Still one short of 22.
Oh, man.
You, like, as she walks in, she just kind of, you all know, she keeps her eyes on everything at all times. See, like, just, like, very quickly her eyes dart the entire room to see who's here. And as you step behind Cass, just, like, in that last moment, your eyes lock, and she gives you a smile, and then you move right behind him. It doesn't seem weird to anyone else, because it's, like, it just seems like a natural, like, oh, I'll stand right here. But you and Cassiopeia have made eye contact.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then, the James Whitmore will start his address to the room, like, Hello, friends. Thank you all so much for coming. Thank you, Barto, once again for hosting. Thank you, new members. I am glad that even in the final days of our mission, we are able to recruit like-minded individuals who believe that the way of the last cleric was wrong, and that we should put power back into the hands of the people, and not the people who claim that they are in charge because they said the right words a few years ago. Yes, if we could all just repeat the motto we're told to say on entry to prove we are all here for the right reasons, that would be wonderful. I'm not sure why you're pausing. And can I get you all to make a performance or deception check to keep up with everyone else in the room?
Great.
Or if you've got mind reading powers, you can try and gain it off of somebody else. But
I'll make a deception check, and can I
Okay.
talk louder than these two? Knowing that Frog is probably scrambling and Nori has no idea what's going on.
Frog is a performer. Just saying.
Okay, that's fine.
I mean, you
Alright.
can talk louder. If it goes badly, it will draw a lot of attention to you.
That is very fair.
Yeah, it's essentially trying to do that thing where it's like you go to church and they've changed church since the last time you were there, but like you gotta pretend like they didn't change church and it's a surprise to you, so your grandma's not upset. So you're like saying what you know and blending in with the people around you. You're trying to do
25.
that, or okay, cool. It's like, or if any of you want to try and gain it off someone else, you can, but that's the goal.
I also
Frog,
rolled
what
a
are you doing?
25.
Nori, what are you
Performance.
doing?
I am going to. I'm gonna roll a deception check because I'm a horrible performer. But I am also going to try and like just mouth the words with like some things coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I rolled a 23.
Okay, yeah, all of you pretty well. Like, all the other nobles start up like this little like sentence of affirmation, like, "We are here because the great red blood ties us all together, and we can stop the world from turning." And you all mouth along with that pretty well.
Great. This doesn't seem concerning at all. Okay.
Okay, well, good. We have that out of the way, and now we can get started with our meeting. New members, I suppose. Let's do some introductions. And looks to the four of you. Not sure who he should talk to first, because he has not been briefed on the Frog Nation's fight against the Shadowcats, because it's not real, and because Archemedies is crazy. So he looks to the four of you to see who should start talking first. Archemedies is going to go unless any of you try and say something first.
No,
Clarification.
I will move towards Archimedes.
Yes,
Wait,
Cass.
so are we all sitting, or is he sitting, we're standing?
You're all sitting.
Okay.
Just like sitting as like
can
a
everyone
pod.
Can everyone see him, considering he is a frog?
No.
He's
He's like on a raised chair pedestal. Essentially
Okay,
in like one of those
perfect.
restaurant high chairs. Yeah.
Nope, that's what I was wanting clarification. All right, yeah,
Yep.
then I would just sort of look to Archimedes then.
Unlike you all, this evil secret society have made frog adaptations to the room of accessibility for the frog. And they are able to they look around and is like, "I am Archimedes, I am king of frogs. I am king of all frogs, as they have elected me, and my bloodline is strongest because I was born the Frog King. There are Shadowcats that are eating our people, and these brave knights around me, and two others, but I'm not sure where they are currently, killed a bunch of the Shadowcats and were elected as my personal guard and saviors of Frog Nation, and I am here to gather support for the Frog people." And these are my 3 knights.
I mean, do knights get introduced at these type of events? I would think that we would be underneath
They did.
Frog King.
He did ask you all to introduce yourselves.
Okay, well, I feel like Mr. Stupid James Whitmore and Cassiopeia know who we are. So that's not great. Alright, fine. Frog will say, I am Fragenna, without a last name.
I am Nori.
And I am Cass.
Very well. I'm so glad we could make your acquaintances. And then you see like a look go across his eye, and he's like, very interesting that you would join us here, but we can have a talk later. Anyway, as we all know, the wedding is in 2 days. Plans are fully in motion to have the ceremony go off as intended. And the only things we really need to do now is make sure that all, well, 8, but now 9 of us are in attendance, plus any knights or staffing that we need. As with all of us there, we have a couple people extra, but we should have enough to pull off the ceremony as intended. So, do we all know our assignments for the next 2 days? We all have our invitations ready? We're all good to go? And you see, like, everyone else in the room is nodding along. They're like, yeah, we're ready. Hooray.
And at this point, is Frog King nodding along too, or is he just spacing out?
With him, it's hard to tell because he's always kind of, like, moving. It seems like he's engaged, but it doesn't seem like he has any idea what's actually happening.
I'm going to just gently nudge him and try to get him to speak up, because it's we're following his lead type situation.
Oh, I have been pushed forward. I suppose that I was only invited here because you said that it would save the frog people. What do you need me to do to save the frog people? What is my role in the wedding, or the not wedding? What do you need of Frog King? And there's a weird silence that crosses the room because like no one's ever really directly had to ask a question. Like most of this meeting, you can all see, is conducted through like letters and private conduct that then they come together, and it's like nobody's in defiance. Good, keep going. So it's very strange for somebody to initiate a conversation at the table. And you just see like a pause as every head in the room turns to Archemedies, and then Cassiopeia will answer for the High Cleric. Well, all you need to do is make sure you're there, because we know that you have an invitation already, and so once you're inside, you'll know the plan. In the moment, you will for sure know your role in all of this, and we are very excited that you are able to join us. Just go to the wedding. That's all we need you to do.
And during that, is she eyeing us at all?
Make a perception check.
Oh, this bitch. I know exactly what's gonna happen. You said perception?
Uh-huh.
Alright, give me 1 second. 13.
13. You can see that, like, to everyone else, no. She seems to have magically altered her eyes that they seem to only be looking at Archimedes, but you can see through the glamour, and she is making direct eye contact with all three of you, like one at a time as she says this.
Yeah. Figured. Alright, and I'm just going to sit there next to Archimedes and just keep an eye on the other two to make sure everyone's remaining calm.
Yeah, I can do that. I have already picked out a wedding gift, and I am very good friends with the princes, so they will gladly let me into their wedding, as they already have when they gave me an invitation, but as they will continue to already do because I still have it. And then the cleric goes, yes, well, thank you for that, Frog King, and as soon as it's all over, we will be sure to send some of the Knights of the Church to help you with the shadow cat population problem. We would not want shadow cats hurting your people any further, and we would love to have you be our animal representation for the church as it is as it comes through on the other side. I think it'd be great to have communication with all of the creatures of the land, and you will be, of course, appointed to the highest position of the animal court.
Insight.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, finally. 19.
Nothing seems to be alive from what he's saying.
I just get a smirk to myself. Not make it noticeable, but just sort of... just a breath of relief that this is at least somewhat true.
Yep. Cool. Anything else anyone's planning to do?
While we're sitting here, I'm just going to... We have some of the names. I know we were introduced to some of the people, but I'm going to just try to make a visual note of everyone that's here. They said there's supposed to be 9 total, right?
Yep, so the 6 people you're introduced to, Archemedies, and then Cassiopeia and James, and then like all of the like seconds and thirds were not counted in that 9. Like you all were not part of that 9.
Yeah, no, the 9 are the head noble, I would assume. Yeah, okay.
Yep, so 8 plus Archimedes.
Would there be an opportunity for us to try and do some recon to maybe find one of the letters in this house? If we know that all of the meetings have been taking place via the letters?
Yeah, if you wanted to, after the meeting, try and sneak upstairs by going outside and then back in the front door, you can definitely do that.
Do we have anything else that we need to get done today? Like that we've chatted about or anything along those lines?
No, I think the only thing would be to go to the princes.
Well, I feel like we probably could be... Let me rephrase that. I feel like it would be useful for us to know what the ceremony is, why they need 8 people, and what is the potential purpose. So, like, even finding out any more details may be beneficial, and not that, Frog, you're the most stealthy. You totally are, but you have invisibility, so, like, that might be kind of helpful.
Yeah, any other plans or questions you all have?
No, but I think doing some recon, or at least attempting to, probably would be a good idea.
Okay. Yeah, as the meeting wraps up, you all don't feel yourselves contained, but you feel like the gravity around you is pressing down a bit more, as though the sentence of, "Oh, I'll have a conversation with you for..." You're not actively being held in place. You can still move by your own choice, but you can tell something is trying to keep you here. And everyone else clears out of the room, including Barto, who leaves and goes outside somewhere. And you're left alone in the room with the 4 of you, and then Cassiopeia and James Whitmore. Well, it's been several months since the last time we saw each other. I invited you over, and then you abandoned me. I had tea out and everything.
I'm sure it was lovely.
It would have been,
Apologies. And our apologies. We had other arrangements we needed to take care of.
Then why didn't you mention them when you told me that you would be coming over?
Well, I'm not, as you can see, the leader of this group, and I'll look to Archimedes, since he is literally the reason we're here.
I think there is one person in this room that believes that lie for a second. Looks down to Archimedes, looks back up to all of you. But
Well,
if we don't want to disclose purposes, we don't need to. I imagine that you all are here for your own reasons, whatever they may be. Do we need to subdue you now?
I don't think that is necessary. Like I said, our friend here, aka our King of the Frogs, caused a bit more of a kerfuffle than we were expecting in our absence from the city. So we just wanted to make sure he closed up his commitments, let's say.
Yes, and it would be such a shame if Ural's flightiness made it so that he could not finish his commitments. So, Archemedies, would you like to stay with us for the next 2 days? We can give you a much better house than these three can. We can give you your own apartment. It won't be a hotel where you rely on others, and we'll give you true servants if you'd like to stay with us. And Archemedies like, oh, that sounds nice. Will someone need to put me in baths and forget I'm in there? No. People will be waiting on you all day. Oh, okay. Frog, is it okay if I go have my own house?
Sure.
Okay. You didn't sound convinced, but you said yes, so... Also, I don't need to ask your permission, it was just kindness.
Uh-huh.
Goodbye! And he's gonna hop over to the other two. And they're like, good, so now even if you do skip out on another invitation, although I imagine you wouldn't want to miss this one, at least we can still do what we need, and we can still have Archimedes fill his part in saving his people, because that's what we're all here for, right? Saving our people?
Frog will not respond to that.
I'll look her dead in the face and be like, of course.
Good. Well, now that we know you're here, and we know where you're sitting, we'll make sure to keep extra eyes on you. And if you truly are planning to aid us, well, you'll know how in time. And if you truly are planning to use this information against us, it will be the last thing you ever do. And then looks directly through you, Cass, like not through you as in past you, but into you, and just says, remember, I know everything. I'll know.
And sort of feeling the tension, I'll maintain eye contact with her the whole time and just be like, I'm assuming we're done here then, yes?
Sure. I mean, unless you have any questions for us, or you want to get acquainted with the soon-to-be head of the country.
Well, I'll look at Nori and Frog and be like, do you guys... anything?
No, this has been lovely. It's been so nice to see you. Thank you.
And James Whitmore speaks up. Well, yes, it'd be a real shame if anyone were to interrupt the ceremony. Weddings are sacred, as I'm sure we all know, and anyone disrupting a royal wedding would surely be an enemy of the state. And with how much of a friendship and kinship you have with them, I imagine you would feel awful ruining their wedding. So, I'm glad we agree. And then the two of them will like take Archimedes and just step out of the room through the same portal they came in, leaving the three of you alone in this basement.
Well, that was some forking bullshit.
And as soon as Nori says that, I'm just gonna put my hand over her mouth and just get us to leave the basement.
Okay. Yeah, there's no issue leaving. You all were invited in, the door lets you out just as easily.
And as soon as we are outside, just sort of motion to them that we either need to leave or pretty much if we're doing something else, we need to figure that out at this instant.
I think that we should leave. I personally don't know that we're going to find anything helpful within the house. And even if we do, like, we know that bad things are going to happen. I don't really know that we need to know exactly what's going to happen. Like, if we can stop the wedding from happening. I said the word happening a lot in there. I don't know.
That's fine by me, but I think we need to regroup and figure out what the hell we're gonna do.
Well, yes, that would be our next step, but...
Okay. And then with that, I'll just sort of confirmation for both of you. I'm just going to get going. Like, just put distance between us and them at this point.
Where do you go to?
I
You
would
could go-
personally just start walking around town, like get close to where we're staying, but not go in type situation.
Okay. Yeah, you're not that far because the hotel you're in is in like the same district of the city as all the noble houses and the castle and the like royal church. It's like you're in the spot where it's like the people that are meant to be up here for the wedding are naturally up here anyway. So it's not hard to just like take a couple paces from the house, and then just go like hang out around where you all are residing.
Then, yeah, I'd probably just find somewhere out in public to probably sit somewhere somewhat secluded, so we're not like everyone can hear us, but just find a place to sit and recap exactly what's going on, because yeah, there's a lot to unpack.
I mean, I feel like we need to meet with the princes, but I don't know how we're gonna do that without being seen.
Yeah. And oh, so is this conversation happening while we're sitting, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I just wanted to make sure. So just gonna like sort of be blunt at this point. So they're planning to kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all on the same page with that. No one's surprised that, like, we all picked that up from what was said.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's probably a
Or some,
reasonable guess.
yeah, or something along those lines. They're not good intentions. Let me put it like that. So, something we should probably, I would agree, Frog, we need to find a way to get in contact with our friends, and I'm just going to look at Frog and wink, not knowing if we are being listened to at this exact point in time or not. But yes, and we always could use the gifts we got to get in contact with them, but that's very limited. I think there needs to be a way that someone needs to get there. I know from our conversations, I think you can make yourself very hard to be seen, but certain people are a bit more of a nuisance than others, and it's going to be very difficult to make sure you're not detected by her as opposed to other people.
Do any of us have any spells at our disposal that would be helpful in this instance of trying to teleport ourselves somewhere?
None of you have teleportation. Ooh, Kate or someone. Why? Someone's getting a feedback. I'll have to fix that. None of you have teleportation, but you do know that the last time you needed to talk with them without seeing them face to face, Julian created essentially like a Lee Moon's tiny hut for you all that was extra dimensional, and that would work. Frog, can I get a wisdom saving throw, please?
Wow, this is the third 19 I've rolled in a row.
Okay. Cool. Anyway,
I don't like that.
then that's fine. So yeah, you would know that you were able to do that in the past. You would though have to reach out to them to try and initiate it. It's not just something that was gonna like, you don't have like a back door into Julian's like psychic palace.
Well,
And none of you have the teleportation spell.
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'd have to use the ring. How big is where Dion and Julian are staying?
Huge. They are staying in the castle that is the head of the entire country.
Do we have a general area where we know they are, or no idea?
You know that they have their like press tour posted around, saying like, "Oh, come meet the royal couple before the wedding." Like they're moving around town, doing all of this press tour stuff. You can find a copy of that somewhere. There's also, like for the past couple of nights have been like royal dinners that people have been attending in like support of like, oh, we are all in town, we're all just gonna keep hanging out. You haven't been to any of them because you weren't in town, but you wouldn't be uninvited from them. So you could either go to one of those dinners tonight or tomorrow. But you also know that they are constantly moving around town, being paraded and shown off like awards more than people.
Lovely existence.
Mhm.
Okay. So
There's a
I'll just
reason
sort of
Dion hates it.
look around and be like, is there like, it sounds weird, is their schedule just sort of like posted on like flyers around town? Just sort of like being like, hey, this is where they'll be.
It's not like all over on flyers, but like some of the notice boards in town have it on there. So it's like in the like districts, kind of like how the market had like that big notice board Archemedies was out front of, or like there's a notice board outside of the castle front. Like those have it posted, so it's like everyone can come find them whenever, as that's the point. It's not just on like every flyer of every building, but you could easily find one, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to just look to Frog and Nori and be like, I'm going to go figure out where they're going to be, just so we have an idea. You two, I don't know. There's a lot of moving parts right now, but I think it would be best if we take care of if Frog King's money first and foremost, and potentially take our portion of it and make sure we are well equipped to give a great gift at the wedding. I'm just going to give a very noticeable wink to Frog, since Nori is just daydreaming off in the corner already.
Hold on. I had something and then I lost it. I was thinking about too many things all at once and it's gone. Okay, move on.
And seeing that reaction, I'm just going to just gently put my hands on the table and be like, you guys should go buy stuff to make sure we have everything we need. I'm going to go find a schedule. Also, if any of you feel anything off, and I'm going to look at Nori and be like, Nori, you should instantly use detect magic to make sure people are going to be watching us. We know that's a given. We just need to try to find out when they're watching us.
Okay. Gold, stuff, magic. You got it.
Alright, and with that, I'm going to just look at both of them, make sure they're good, and I'm going to just go to one of the posting boards and see if I can find that schedule really quick.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. As you head off, probably back to the same part where one is posted. Archemedies is gone. Frog and Nori, what is it that you all go off to try and find? What are you getting to help yourselves as best you can?
I think some diamonds would be beneficial. Maybe any other types of potions we can find that we would maybe deem useful. And then I don't know if any of us need like any armor or weapons, but maybe if Cass could have left us with a list of things he needs. Those would be the kind of stuff that we would try and find.
Okay. And do you cast Detect Magic, or are you going to wait a bit?
Oh, sorry. Never mind. I thought you said cast Detect Magic, and I was like, I do not have that.
Detect Magic lasts for what, 10 minutes? Or is it only a minute?
I think it's 10.
Yeah.
But it has been much longer than the last time you cast it.
I will do some Detect Magic as we're walking through town, or wherever we're going next.
Okay, so you're waiting a bit and then casting it? Or are you casting it, like, right now?
I'll cast it right now.
Okay. Yeah, nothing seems too out of the ordinary for the street around you. But it does, like, as you cast it, you sense a ping from right behind Frog that seems to fade out as soon as you sense it.
So that's really great. I'm going to cast Sending as well and send a message to Frog. Hopefully. I don't know if it'll work. But tell
You
her
can
that-
just message Frog. You don't need to waste a spell slot to send it to Frog.
Oh. I will let Frog know via message about the thing that was behind her.
Okay. Frog is a little bit concerned, but we'll pretend like she's not noticing whatever it is. Also, I have a question for my friends. Is there a reason we are not using, like, Sending or our rings to just, like, get a message to the princes that, like, we need to meet sometime when they're free, and can we use your tiny hut thing of brains to meet? Or, like, why is Cass going to look at their schedule?
I'm not there to answer this.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you want to, go ahead.
So when I use the ring, is that coming from my brain, or do I have to say it out loud?
It's still sending, so it would still be coming. Like,
It's
you have
just
to, like,
sending.
whisper it into the ring, and then it goes in, yeah.
Okay. So the reason that we're not doing this is because someone could be listening to us with magic. I'm assuming. Okay.
I mean,
I
Nori's
guess
currently detecting magic, and there's nothing around you.
Didn't you just say there was a ping of magic?
Yeah, and as soon as she started detecting it, immediately went away.
Okay.
Do it, Frog!
Okay. Frog is going to use the ring to contact Dion. This seems like it should go to him and not Julian. And let him know, like, we got wrapped up in a meeting involving Whitmore and Cassiopeia, and bad things are going to be happening, and we need to meet as soon as you possibly can in your little pretend world. The end.
And, we see the camera pan over. Cass, as you get there, you can see that they're at the Children's Hospital in the south of town on the schedule. But we pan further to Dion holding a child, trying to comfort him. And then in his head being told, we've been at a meeting with people who hate you. You're in grave danger. We need to meet as fast as possible. And the, like, pained look of him trying to keep smiling because he knows everybody is watching him as he's trying to make these children feel better. And he just responds, "Hello, it's glad to hear you made it back. I wish you would have said anything as an introduction. We will be free in about an hour. We can set it up then, or we could just come find you if that's easier. Always a pleasure to hear from Frog."
Fine.
And then, Cass, you
had the details than a welcome.
And Cass, you do make it to the notice board, and you see that their schedule for the day, like, it's currently, like, late afternoon. They are going to be, like, on the lower part of the town. So again, like, the city is built into the mountain, and you guys are up at the top. They're in, like, that bottom part down here. just like meeting up with the public figures who, like, this is the last time they'll be like in low-level public until after the wedding, because the rest of the tomorrow is reserved for like rehearsals, and then like today was like the last, like, come meet them before they're like officially the people, essentially keeping everyone on a good side. But it does show that in like half an hour they'll be done with that, and then they have like a market appearance, and then after that it's like they're free until there's nothing posted on the schedule, but you all know when the dinner would be tonight. The dinners do not seem to be publicly advertised of where they're at or what time. So if you wanted to try and get down there, you would have the time.
I'm just gonna take this little like posting and just rip it off the board and just start walking back to the group.
Okay.
Muttering to myself that this is wildly not safe for major public figures to have their day just scheduled for everyone to see.
If you think there is not millions of security agents on them. But yeah.
Oh, I know, but still.
Yeah.
And I'm just
Yeah.
on my way back to the group.
Yeah. Cool. You make it back. We'll say that we'll have you all meet back at like your hotel or something after Frog and Nori have done their shopping trips. And then we'll have you all meet back up, and we'll start next time with our reunion of you all and the princes, and maybe we'll see where Seth and Alto are, because you all didn't invite them to anything. They've just been left alone again. But anyway, we'll wrap up there for this episode, and we'll see you all next time when we venture into telling the princes more traumatic information. As always, thank you, audience, for listening. Thank you, players, for playing. You can contact us all across the internet at helpactionneeded, and that's kind of the vibe. You know the rest of it by this point, because I have forgot. But that's okay, because we're human, and humans are bad at what they do. Thank you, audience, for listening. Thank you, players, for playing. And as always, goodbye! Hello, everyone. Editing Sean once again. Thank you for making it to the end of this episode. As of the day of release, there is still 2 weeks left for you to vote for Help Action Needed for Best Upcoming Podcast for the 2025 Crit Awards. If you have done so already, we thank you immensely, and if not, maybe consider voting. Links below. Thank you so much.